Yo, what is up? What's going on? Thank y'all for tuning in to another DnL&x Fitness live stream show. Let's go. Yes, sir. I should have had a water. I need to get me a water to drink because I forgot to grab it before I started the show. So I'm going to have to grab me a water at some point because your boy's going to get kind of thirsty because today's going to be a long show. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're having a good day today. It is the second day of June 2026. And yes, sir, we are in here for another good live stream show for you. Hopefully you're having a good day at work. Hopefully everything's going good. Hopefully nobody's pissing you off. Hopefully nobody pissed in your coffee this morning and you ain't wake up on the wrong side of the bed. However, if you are having a bad day and your day sucks so far, we're going to let Mr. Child break it down to you.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you didn't die, get shot, unalive, diseased, whatever the case may be, and you are still here to make something happen and get up and get out and get something, be grateful, be happy, and make improvements of your life day by day, step by step, and, you know, turn the negative into a positive and make it a great day. Let's go. Let's go. What is this? Oh crap, I still got a bunch of stuff to do. Okay, so, and also we are multi-streaming and I'm over here multitasking if you can't tell. We are multi-streaming on multiple different platforms. We're on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble, and Facebook. If you are on YouTube, do me a favor. When you see the thumbs up that's going to pop up on your screen right there, hit that like button to get the likes up. It is greatly appreciated. And if you're on the other platforms I named, give your boy a follow and all that greatness. Be greatly appreciated. Yes, sir. With that being said, oh man, you see that eye? Oh man. Okay, fix that. With that being said, we got a good show. If you want to contribute to today's show, Cash App and the Venmo's right there. Cash App Daniel 2888, Venmo Daniel that's 00. And with that being said, baby, we got a good show lined up for you today. We are going to go into the great HOPI Prophecy. Whether you do or you don't know, you're going to learn today what that's all about and how that goes, and to see if the HOPI Prophecy is actually coming into fruition today as we speak in this world that we're living in. Oh yes, we're going to check out HOPI's Prophecy and to see how this thing is playing out and some of the wisdom and guidance that we can get on understanding this prophecy at large, and to see where we are in today's society, in today's world, and to see how this is going to pan out, and to get an understanding of how you should navigate, or you possibly should navigate in life by choice. You have two paths to take, and according to the HOPI Prophecy, and actually religious texts all over, but according to the HOPI Prophecy, you got two paths you can take: the materialistic path or the spiritual path. And we're going to go and get a good understanding of how all this works and what this looks like. And it's going to be a good one. This one's going to be a whole lot less talking for me. We're really just going to be watching a lot of knowledge and old teachers and old talkings of the HOPI Prophecy to get an understanding on how exactly it works and what it is and what the actual understanding of it is and how life is looking and what people should be doing as far as moving forward towards this HOPI Prophecy. So this one's going to be a good one. I'm going to enjoy this one. It's going to take a while, but what was I going to say? It's going to take a while, but it's not going to be a lot of talking on my end. It's not really much for me to be saying. It's just going to be a whole lot of reading and understanding as to what this actually is and what's going on. So we're really just going to be watching and learning and getting a very good understanding of the teachings and how people should be living harmoniously together, and understanding that we're at an inflection point. And what path do you choose to take, and you know how much time is left. All right. So with that being said, we ain't gonna waste no more time. We're gonna just jump right into it, into the HOPI Prophecy, because it's a very interesting one nonetheless. Let me see. Let me get this off my screen just in case I accidentally pull this up. This would be wait, not this one. Let me get no, not that one. Where is it? We'll go here. No, we'll go right there. We go right there. All right, cool. So we got that there. We're good to go on that. All right, cool. let's get this. Let's go ahead and dive into today's show. Let's start with the HOPI Prophecy. We're going to get an understanding of what it is and how this thing works, and then we're just going to keep going further down along the line. And by the time you get through with the show, you should have a good understanding of HOPI's Prophecy. Not much talk is going to come from me. I'm going to be getting educated as much as you are, so we'll be doing this together. So with that being said, let's get it cracking. Here we fix that. Go.
The Hopi nation, which...
And before I continue this on, just to have one thing, please don't always delegate things to understanding that everything is about like a race, because, you know, it's not necessarily like race, but it's indigenous people of all sorts. And indigenous people came in many different shades. So a lot of people like to put color on a lot of things, which it does have its place. But just to understand, when you're looking at older tribes and things, just understand indigenous people were of all shades of different colors. So let's keep this going. Here we go.
We represent our people who have in that southwest area long before Columbus ever wandered out over the ocean, got lost, and finally landed up in our area and called us Indians. He thought he landed around close to Indian country in East India. There were villages already setting up in northern part of what is now called Arizona on 3 mesas. And there the elders of the people set up their own form of government based on religious principles. Here they met the Great Spirit, whom the Hopi called Masawa. And he in turn gave the people instructions as how to live in this new land and life, how to take care of plant, animal, birds, and the whole living things on this earth. And we held that land and life in a good state. There are clear rivers, green valleys, trees, animals, birds, everything was in good order. Our white brothers separate from us at the very beginning of life, and he went to this continent somewhere and bring about destructions of our land, so much that there's pollution of land, air, rivers, and everything taking place all over that land today. And someday he will come back to us, and he's supposed to help us to take care of the land in a better way with what he invent. The Hopi people have never made any treaty with any nation that came upon our continent, not even with the United States government. So we still consider ourselves as a Hopi sovereign nation or Hopi independent nation, and we who are here today represent them in such way, and we hope that we may talk with some of the United Nations people and other nations in this country while we're here for the next 2 weeks. So thank you very much.
All right, so this is 1972, and he's speaking on, you know, how the land at some point was taken and polluted back in 1972. And as we get further down, we'll get, I don't know how to say this, we'll get later on in, you know, his teachings or whatever he's talking about. But he does speak on, you know, how he said Christopher Columbus landed where he thought he landed, but he wasn't nowhere where he thought he was. So Christopher Columbus was when he discovered America, but yet you discovered something and somebody was already there. So how could you discover something if people were already on it? But that's a story for another day. And he also, you know, explains that, you know, they never made any agreements with anybody. So eventually some point, you know, hopefully what they're doing, that the land that they have doesn't get too polluted or whatnot. But it seems like that has been the case over periods of time. But we're going to see how far this prophecy goes and how deep it runs. And this is Hopi himself. I think he even actually went to jail for a period of time. He was locked up for, I can't remember what it was for. Maybe he was false imprisoned. I can't remember, but I think he did jail time for a while. But This is him giving understanding back in 1972, and just to see how from 72 all the way to 2026, how strong this prophecy holds strong here today. But let's let him keep going.
Very much.
I will repeat again that Brother Robert, Sister Miriam had said that they were very happy to see many of you let your hair grow. That's in our prophecy too. Sometime we would realize.
And also another thing, when you want to talk about Indians, a lot of people like to say that they're Indians. Well, one thing you should also research when it comes to Indians is that some people are $5 Indians. So might want to look into that. If your grandfather has Indian in him, you got to ask your question: is your grandfather a real Indian? Is your grandfather a $5 Indian? And I'll let you do your research on that and burst your own bubble.
That we have taken the wrong path, and if we realize that we are not taking the right path, the people would let their hair grow. The earth has been torn to pieces, and she's bleeding. How can we cure our mother? Only to follow the spiritual path, so that the Great Spirit will cure our Mother Earth. I'm very happy to say that we have shown something here. Whatever we planted here may grow and bear fruit, that we may harvest a good crop at the end as a spiritual crop. Let us not forget the teachings of the Great Spirit. Let us all follow him, so that we may not destroy ourselves. We want to deliver ourselves from destructions. I look upon all you people, being holding some religious order, that I would say that you are all my children. I pray for all of the people all over the world, so that they may have long lives and happy lives and have abundance of food for all, so that we may live in happily. So I'll repeat again that I'm very happy that you are here with us today, and I would again say that always adhere to the teachings of the Great Spirit, because it's the only remedy to our cause. Since we are here, we are very, very much pleased that we have met you here, the faces of you people who have never been across here before, and we have come. This has been prophesied too, that we will come together someday in this manner in foreign countries, so that we can solve our problems together, so that we may not destroy ourselves. I do not feel strange to you people, and so do not feel strange toward me. You are all my children, or my brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Now, if you notice one thing that he talked about, he was very big on speaking on diet and eating healthy, growing crops and growing food and stuff like that, and utilizing the land and tilling the soil and utilizing the land to grow food and eat a healthy diet. And living in the U.S., that seems to be, it's just the polar opposite. You know what I mean? Like, now we're hearing that there's processed there's processed meat that's going to be, or is being thrown around, and it's processed, food and packages and stuff like that. And he was strictly speaking on diet and prayer and focusing on the land and living harmonious with people, not just on the land he lives in, but across the world and across the globe. So that's one thing that you will notice. And this is way back in 1972. He's speaking on crops, growing, eating healthy food, because what you put inside of yourself, the food that you put inside of yourself, does make a huge difference, especially now that we've noticed, now that we see that the food that they give us now does extremely more harm than good, causes diseases. It causes all kinds of just bad things. And now they're saying that they're trying to put nanotech or whatever the hell they're trying to put inside of the food. Way back when, they tried to stay on the path of respecting nature. Because I always talk about animism. And it seems like what they do and what they say, in a sense, ties into animism and respecting nature and respecting all of the elements of the world and living a positive, happy, harmonious life all together, and not really, how do you say it? Maybe not as much competition as it may be, although there's always going to be competition whatever you do. But when it comes to food and eating and living, everybody, there should be an abundance amount because there's so much land and you can grow anything. And then, when it comes to sacrificing of an animal, you do it in the most humane way, not just a certain religious group or sector who does that in a kosher way, but everybody should be able to do that. So he's speaking on a global, harmoniously living in a peaceful manner and respecting nature along the way, and not falling off and being on the materialistic path, but staying on a spiritual path of growth with everyone. But let's let him keep going. Let's let him keep teaching. Here we go.
These 2 stone tablets were given in the hands of 2 brothers who had same mother, but one of them had a very light complexion. And we refer to that young person or older brother, a white brother, because his skin is whiter than the other one, who has a color of Mother Earth. Our native people have that color that was to carry this knowledge, to take hold of it and keep it. So there was a separation made. The one with a lighter complexion, a white brother, was instructed to go east along the edges of land to another land, to take care of it and to use it and to develop things, to record things, to invent things, which he had done before. So that after he got so far, then he was to come back here to look for his younger brother who was left here to take care of this land in spiritual way with songs and prayer, preacher, fasting, meditation. He was to take care of this continent here in that fashion. So
you see, he mentioned song, prayer, meditation, and fasting. It seems like it doesn't matter where you go when it comes to spiritual practice. That practice never goes away. And if you also notice, like demons or demonic people, whatever, they actually practice fasting as well. They actually practice prayer, meditation, and fasting as well when they want to unleash a demonic spirit. So that teaching still holds ground. It's just at the end of the day, what you choose to do with it and how you choose to utilize it for a path of materialism or destruction, or a path of spiritual growth and harmonious living amongst each other. But you notice that is always amongst any teaching, Hindu, Buddha, Christianity, any kind of teaching, Islam, whatever you want to call it, Torah, all that teaching, you always have prayer, meditation, and fasting as a staple, as something that one must do for spiritual growth and enlightenment.
He required brothers to come with his invention to help him. When they come together, the material and spiritual will join, and together they're supposed to take care of this land in a real good way, in accordance with the great spirit instruction.
He said the material and the spiritual is supposed to come together and take care of this land in a good way. And it's all about a balance, like yin and yang. There's a balance of, a certain amount of material you should have and a certain amount of spirit you should have. It should be a balance of both. And then you should be able to bring that balance together and then, bring about harmony is what he's saying in a nutshell, in my humble opinion. So always understand there's always a balance between the two.
There is a danger, he said, because he gave us both sacred symbols, circle. There's no end to this circle. Just like there's no end to this life if we follow that. So each one was receiving that same symbol. So a white brother went east, then he came back. But if he started change that and bring another symbol, we know that he started changing things. He's going to do things in his own way. So those 2 symbols were known to us. So that when he comes, we place everything on his life to follow. It represents village life, religious life, and everyday life of our people to follow. There was no road there yet. But later our white brother came, and he did bring inventions, he said. I'm just going to go through this quickly as possible. The inventions he will bring, one of the elders who was the one that called this meeting was a Kachina society leader. He was about 80 or 90-year-old man, and he said, after others have told, 4 days, the end, he said, my grandfather used to tell me that I may maybe get to see some of the inventions that our white brother will bring. When he comes, he's going to bring a carriage that will be pulled by animals. carrying people across our land.
You see what he's saying? He said there was supposed to be some inventions that the white brother would bring. Supposed to be carriages that, you know, come across the land like a horse and buggy or something like that. Whatever they're white. And you see what they say. It's not a different race of people. They call them white brothers. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't much division. It was understanding like, hey, we're supposed to pull together and make this stuff happen together. And this is where I go in. I start saying that there has to be a different race among us as far as like Anunnaki, reptilians, gray Pleiadians, and stuff like that. There has to be a different race literally among us that can shapeshift and take form of whatever the case may be. Because when he's speaking on to his white brothers who potentially share the same human attribute as he does, understanding that whatever materialism that he brought over, then they were supposed to put the spiritual and the material together and live a completely harmonious existence, and understanding that, you know, you could do more when you put the two together. You know what I mean? You could do a hell of a lot more when you put materialistic and spiritual together. You know what I mean? Imagine walking around and planting crops and tilling crops, but then imagine what you could do if you had like a dune buggy, a tractor, or some kind of technology that you could use to further the growing that you could have did just walking with a bunch of people, as opposed to a bunch of people using the technology to grow the land and till the land. It's like today we see the polar opposite. Now we see technology, and now with technology isn't helping the ground, it's destroying the land. Like with data centers are taking, they're building a lot of data centers, and the data centers use a lot of water. You know what I mean? It's doing a polar opposite when it was supposed to do wonders for the land and abundance for everybody. It's doing the opposite. But let's keep going to see where this goes.
Said, I've seen that. That's a wagon. He said, pretty soon that's going to run by itself, carrying people across our land. And he said that's automobile. And then
okay, I have to point that out. He said that his white brother would bring like a horse or a carriage or something. He said that's basically a dune buggy, like a horse and a carriage. Then he said eventually it would run by itself. He said that's an automobile. Now that time goes on further, if it runs by itself, that's going to be electric vehicles. You know what I mean? From as far as he could see in his mind from 1972, from what he was saying, I think the person he's referring to was an elder who said that he would see like a horse and carriage in his time. Then he said later on it would run by itself. He was like, that's the automobile. But as time went on, we now see that that's the electrical EV vehicles. That's the technology inside of the cars and whatever that can have driverless vehicles. So that was past the automobile. That's my opinion. I think that's what, only as far as he could see at the time, and what he just said, that person who he was talking about that was before him, was like 90 years old, who said he would see a horse and carriage in his time, and then it would later on go on by itself. He referred to it as an automobile, but I think now that we see it, we see that it's not an automobile. We actually see that it's actually the EV vehicles that we're seeing. It's the actual EV vehicles that can run on their own. Let's keep going.
Pretty soon there's going to be a road in every direction from our mesas. You can see all kind of trails every direction. They have no word for pavement. So he said, one of these days you go down one of those trails, you can see water in front of you. Because you know, in hot summer day, you actually see a mirage of water in front of you. That's the way they describe there'll be paved road all over the land. And pretty soon we won't have those things also. So some of our people start to go that way because Great Spirit warned us not to go too far with that. We can have them, but not to let this go and go up that way. So he said when that happens, then there will be time someone invent something that we will be talking to each other through cobweb. And he shook his head and said, I don't understand what that meant. And then some young fellow told him that that's a telephone line. You know, you look up in the...
Hold on. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? He said we will be talking to each other through cobwebs. And he said, I didn't understand what that meant. And he said that's telephone wires, but it's like, no, it's not telephone wires. It's the internet web. It's the World Wide Web. So what he's thinking back then, he couldn't see the internet in 72. He saw telephone. So he's thinking, oh, look, telephone wires and telephone poles. He's seeing that as the web. Now we see what really is. He's speaking on the web that he didn't understand, but he thought it was the telephone pole and telephone wires. Like, no, it's the internet. So whoever this is that he's speaking on, who was talking way back when, who couldn't comprehend what he was seeing when it came to a web, he thought he was right as far as the telephone wires go. But it's like, no, it went further. What he was seeing was surpass the telephone wires. What he was seeing was surpass automobiles. He was seeing electric vehicles that run on their own. He was seeing internet technology, the web of the internet. So this is interesting when you pay attention to what he's saying. He's actually seeing beyond his generation. That's wild. This is really amazing when you really pay attention to what he's saying.
Sky looked like cobwebs up there. We're talking to each other. And pretty soon there'll be a time we close everything in a room talking, doors and windows. But way over the mountain someplace, somewhere be hearing us talking. And I can't understand that, he said. And again, and this one fellow told him that must be radio or TV. And then these peerage inventions will show where we are in this life as we go along. Then he said, there'll be road in the sky. And he shook his head. He said, I don't see how anybody could build a road way up in the sky where people will be traveling. But they found out that it was airplane that be having a road up there, carrying people up there.
Okay. I don't know. Now that one, he could be right, potentially. Or we just ain't made it there yet as far as flying vehicles go. So whoever this person is talking, I think he said his name was like Kachina. The person was like 90 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm not mistaken, that's what he said at the beginning. I believe. But he mentioned, what's up, Texas Patriot? What's going on, man? But what he's talking about, he's mentioning roads in the sky. He said he could understand it. He says it's airplanes, which could be true. But since what we've already covered up, we've already covered this. The first thing he mentioned was he would see horse and carriage in his time or doing whatever. And that he would see like a wagon pulling something, which was a horse and carriage. And then he said that it would run automatically. He said that's the automobile, but now we know that that's not the automobile. If it runs automatically, that's the EV electric vehicles that we see now. Then he mentioned that there was a web that people would communicate on. He assumed that it was the telephone wires and the telephone poles. He's like, that's the telephone wires and the telephone poles. But now we see that who was talking was looking past his generation. That's the internet web of things. And then now he's mentioning roads in the sky. And he's like, I don't understand how you could have a road in the sky. He says it's the airplane. But now I got to go again 3 for 3 on this one and say, no, because Amazon is dropping off packages via drones already. And we just probably haven't made it to the point where literal roads are in the sky. I don't know how that can be yet because, you know, we ain't made it there. And that could be seeing beyond what we even see yet. So this is a hell of an interesting conversation he's having to see that even in his time, he thought he was right. But whoever was talking was looking past his time, looking past his generation of life. This is wild. It's really interesting. And this is the HOPI Prophecy. So this is interesting.
So then he said, when that is fulfilled, there's going to be trouble on this earth. Because man has gone too far going that way. They're going to start fighting one another. They're going to be quarreling. They're going to be trouble all over. Young people will not respect for the elders. Or elders will just neglect their children and go all out for this and that. They're just not going to have any more respect of the things around, of nature that's provided, because we want to have those things. And there's going to be like that, and pretty soon one of these that has been commissioned by the Great Spirit over here will rise up and shake the world real hard. A warning to us. Now you people are not following the instructions that the Great Spirit told you to follow. And this is what's going to happen. Many life and property will be destroyed there. There'll be world-shaking events take place. Then it stopped for a while. Then we go on. Then another came along, more advanced things will be invented. This time they said they're going to start messing around with the moon and stars. And they must know that someday somebody's going to get to the moon. They said that if you ever get to the moon, don't bring anything down from the earth, from the moon down to earth. Because once you do that, then you are interfering with the balance of universe, nature, and everything going to be disrupted. And things happen on earth you cannot control anymore. Even though you have all knowledge and scientific things, you can't. When earthquakes start shaking, you're going to be helpless. When the great wind becomes destructive, you're going to be helpless. This is what's going to happen here. So, but then we want many things there because there are other things going to be developed there. We began to see many money system develop. We see the new gadgets of all kinds being developed. And everybody wants to have a new car every year. We all work and strive, and we don't care how we get it, so we fight and we struggle and we do all that, and we forget the spiritual things. We forget ourselves, how we connected to the plate of grass, trees, animals, clouds. We forget all those things, and we struggle and try to get all this. And this is the place where someone would invent what he termed gourd full of ashes. He went like that, and it's going to be so small, but it's going to be so powerful that if ever anytime mankind ever allowed that to fall on the earth someplace, it is going to be so hot that it's going to boil oceans, rivers. It's going to burn everything to ashes. And he described what will happen when that ever took place. Out of it, much sickness and things will develop that man will not be able to cure some of those things. That is going to happen here, between these two. Then there will be also another world-shaking events take place that another one stands up and said, now you people are not following the instruction, you're going too far away, start destroying things. So they warn us again. And this time, this third one's coming up with much greater. This time there'll be someone's going to start farther away messing around with moon and stars. And the last thing he will invent would be a huge house that will be floating way up in the sky someplace, carrying people and things. When that is fulfilled, this old man said, then you better start learning how to live on this earth, how to survive, because the earthquake might hit certain areas very strong someday and knock everything down. Or there may be a severe famine come along, or be a flood, or storm, lightning. Everything starts hitting us very strongly because nature's going to be acting very strongly here. So this is where he said we're in there, because by that time one of our own native people will join them to others and tell their own people, forget your language, forget your ways, forget your songs, you come and follow us. Look, we got money, we got all this material gains, all these things, and new TV, new cars, new this and that. So just forget about it, come this way. And they will also try to influence many of our own people to go that way. But then they will advance in scientific things, inventions, but they're going to destroy themselves with what they invented if they're not careful. So now we're right in this spirit, they say. We are either go all out for this kind of thing, destroy ourselves, or come back, search our spiritual instructions, search ourselves within us, something that should link us together. Because now we know that we are all alive. We are all linked together.
Okay, hold on. I got to pause him for a second there. Okay, so he spoke on, there's going to be a part, the world's going to get shook. And as he kept going, he kept speaking on, he spoke on the moon. He said people are going to try to go to the moon and bring back stuff from the moon, which is going to cause a huge imbalance. It's going to cause an imbalance to nature. It's going to cause an imbalance to everything. Now, we all know that Elon Musk be out here talking about the moon and all that shit, going to the moon. So that's crazy that he's speaking on that. Then he says something else is going to happen. And then people are going to, you know, a man's going to have something that is going to be so powerful that if it hits the ground, it could melt or destroy all of the land and all of the rivers and stuff like that. I would have to go with, I mean, from only what we see now, with what we see now, I would have to say with that, only thing that seems feasible right now is data centers. He said it's so powerful that if this hits the ground, it would destroy. But I have to listen to him say it again. But just the way he described it, with the data centers taking away all the water, that's going to destroy everything, because then nothing's going to be able to grow. So I would look at that as a data center, like the technology, the AI technology. And then he said we get to a point where we're so pushing far for everything that something else is going to say, forget your language, come up here with us, and then forget everything you do. We have materials, we got cars, we got this, we got that, we have our material. Then they're going to go on and end up destroying themselves. But if you look at the path that he's showing you two paths. If you pay attention to when he's talking, he's showing you two paths. He's showing you the path up here. Let me see. Let me see if I can make this happen. Okay, so we're at 15. Okay.
This is the place where someone.
Okay, so if you look right here, he's showing you right here, then the path split, or split back here, or whatever, and you see the path split. And this is the path of material, and this is the path of nature that never stopped. The path of nature kept going. All right, and I'm gonna see if I can find the part where he spoke on right here. There it is.
This is the place where someone invented what he termed gourd full of ashes.
Gold full of ashes. Gold full of ashes. He said this will be the time where someone will invent something so powerful. He called it gold full of ashes. So let's see if we can understand the interpretation.
He went like that, and it's going to be so small, but it's going to be so powerful that if ever anytime mankind ever allowed that to fall on the earth someplace, it is going to be so hot that it's going to boil oceans, rivers. It's going to burn everything to ashes.
That sounds like a data center. I gotta go with data center on that one. I'm gonna say a data center. That's the only thing I can, as far as we know right now, that's the only thing that makes sense, because everything he mentioned was water. If you pay attention, he said rivers and all he named water. I mean, he said it burned, but maybe it's burning up the water because the data centers require so much heat. They need a cooling system. So maybe it's, you know, so that's my opinion. That's how I'm going to look at this for now, as far as the information that we have. So I'm assuming that gold full of ashes could refer to a data center. Because remember, he's looking way past his generation. Whoever this is talking far, far out. But let's keep going.
And he described what will happen when that ever took place. Out of it, much sickness and things will develop that man will not be able to cure some of those things.
That's true, because I did a show where I showed you what happens when they were I showed how they did with the data centers. And with the data centers, what they did was they would rezone residential areas, because they're so powerful, they got so much money. They rezone residential areas and put data centers close to residential areas. And the people who were close to these data centers, they were getting sicknesses and diseases and stuff like that because of, all the electrical power from the data centers. So I'm going to go in place with that from what we know so far as us existing at this point in time. I'm going to go with that. So I think that's what he's referring to, is the data centers giving off so many different kind of sicknesses and diseases from them just operating and running, that there's going to be like no cure for what it's producing out of these data centers for people if they get sick from it. That's what I think he's talking about, because I mean, this is crazy.
that it's going to happen here between these two. Then there will be also another world second event take place that another one stands up and said, now you people are not following the instruction, you're going too far away, start destroying things. So they warn us again, but this time, this third one's coming up with much greater. This time there'll be someone's going to start farther away messing around with moon and stars. And the last thing he will invent would be a huge house that would be floating way up in the sky someplace, carrying people and things. When that is fulfilled, this old man said, then you better start learning how to live on this earth, how to survive, because the earthquake might hit certain areas very strong someday and knock everything down.
So an earthquake will hit certain areas. So when people start living up in the, he said there's a house up in the sky. When people start living up in the sky, that's when you might want to know how to live on the land, because the land, certain places on the land is going to get hit with earthquakes. But some people will be okay if they know how to till the land and take care of their own crops and live harmoniously with nature. So as long as you're still living in harmony with nature, you'll be okay. But if you're full of technology, there's people up here that are going to be living up above us. And then there's the people live on the land that are going to get hit because they strayed away from the natural way of living, because of, I think he's going to mention in a second, a lot of famine and stuff is going to hit. And if you're not able to self-sustain yourself, you're going to basically become a victim of the situation because you didn't follow the laws of nature.
Or there may be a severe famine come along, or be a flood or storm, lightning. Everything starts hitting us very strongly because nature is going to be active very strongly here. So this is where he said we're in there, because by that time one of our own native people will join them to others and tell their own people, forget your language, forget your ways, forget your songs, you come and follow us. Look, we got
one of our own native people will go up there and join the others. Do you realize he called them the others? He said our own native people, one of them will go up there and join the others and say, forget your land, forget your language, come up here with us. We got land, we got cars, we got technology, we got materialism. He's saying that your own kind is going to go up there with the others, is the very words he used, and said, forget your language, forget all that, come up here with us. Oh, wow, this is great. I enjoy this. This is fantastic because you can see this panning out, and this gives you a direction on how you should be moving in life.
Money, we got all this material games, all these things, and new TV, new cars, new this and that. So just forget about it, come this way, and they will also try to influence many of our own people to go that way. But then they will advance in scientific things, inventions, but they're going to destroy themselves with what they invented if they're not careful. So now we're right in this spirit, they say. We'll either go all out for this kind of thing, destroy ourselves, or come back, search our spiritual instructions, search ourselves within us, something that should link us together. Because now we know that we are all alive. We are all linked together. Talk about God, talk about Great Spirit, but no one really see Him yet. But we know there's something that keeps us alive. And that's why we call it Great Spirit, the Spirit within us, linked together with you and grass and animal, birds, everything. It's this air that we're all breathing right now. We're all linked together with that. So we are alive. We are living with this grass, animal, birds. Everything, we are all together because we are breathing. Now, if we pollute this air too much, then we're also destroying ourselves with what we invented. Because they said we may come to that, at this period when the sun will rise is blood red someday, sets blood red someday. And I've seen that. It's already polluted so much in the east and west coast that when the sun comes out, you're going to see it real bright red coming out. Sun, blood red.
Have we had a blood red moon? I mean, sun recently? Blood red sun. I believe this happened. Blood red sun recently. I believe this happened recently. Did we have this happen to us already? Recent observations of a blood red sun in Bagayo City in crimson skies in Australia and Japan are primarily driven by atmospheric scattering from wildfire smoke. iron-rich dust storms, and intense solar radiation storms. These phenomena occur when particles in the air filter out shorter wavelengths, let me show you, allowing only longer red and orange lit to reach the eye. So wildfire, smoke, dust, pollution scatter blue light, allowing red light to reach. A red sun is the result of wildfire smoke, not evidence of another planet. Of course, they're going to tell us whatever. All right. Just trying to make sense of this all, but he's really speaking a lot of interesting things. But let's keep going. Let's finish this up because we got a part 2 after this.
So this is what they said. The second one will shake us up real hard. Now we are coming to this last one. What we say is a purification of this continent here, because this is where the HOPI say that within this spiritual center, which would cover all this four corner state area, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. For some reason, I don't know whether the United States government knows this or not, but they make that states come together in that area where we refer to as sacred area. Now we have that drawing on a shield, the Katrina, whichever picked that up, they were to protect that areas with every way they can, because that is the very heart of our Mother Earth, the spirit of our people planted in there, and we must not disturb it in any way. We can go all around it, but if we go too far in this, then we destroy a lot of things in ourselves also. So this is the time where we're facing, according to HOPI, that we are now coming. A lot of us are going up to a material path. We're just forgetting the spiritual thing. We disturb nature so much. They're fighting and warring and they're quarreling, and people with the same language, and they were testing out a lot of things in our own way because we got so smart, intelligent now. Now we're going to be start making people ourselves now. Found in record there are some people now trying to make people in test tubes, and they're eating pills now. I think that we're going better ourselves. All those things are going to take place at this time. It's known to the HOPI. And then also the life would be down to a level that was just before the other destruction came. There'll be restlessness all over. There'll be people here and there running here and there because we can get to here and there real fast now. And we just won't sit still anymore. We want to jump, we want to do a lot of things, unnecessary things, because we have all these things in our hand now. Then we're going to have power in our hand that eventually, if we misuse it or do it in a wrong manner or accidentally let go of it, then everything will go down or destroyed, because this is what it meant. So we are looking for the spiritual people in these four areas. In the last 15, 20 years, we find few elders still holding on. Different native people. Their sacred sun dances are reviving now, and ghost dances are reviving. And their sacred ceremonies in longhouses in New York, Six Nations Iroquois Confederacy are developing again, reviving. And those in the West Coast are developing. All over this continent, native people are now coming together to hold on to this, because that is our instruction. Now our white brothers has come and is about to lead us into that way. So we are now coming back to our white brothers with this message, with this knowledge, because we are facing this last day of purification day. Now our founder is able to go on in this land, and this is what happened. And so we know that something has gone wrong, so that all across the land our people are start destroying our native people's land and life and religion. Now that's coming to this period which prophesied it would be the last place, whether the white brother realize it someday and start correcting and stopping and changing something, because sooner or later purifiers is going to come and bring about full cleansing of this earth. Because if you can't do it, even you talk about religious, good moral principles, good government or principles, yet you can't stop these things, then these purifiers will have to do it with power and might, because Great Spirit gives them all the power to develop. Now, then whoever comes out, he will meet the Great Spirit again, because here I find in Bible and other said that I'm the first here. I have taking care of this land. I'll let you take care of it. I give instruction. I go away for a while. I'll let you go on your way. Now, if some of you may follow it, some of you may turn away. But after this purification, whoever comes out, then I'll come and meet him again. And this time, this will be a long life again, renewing everything. All living people, no matter what race, will come together as one people, like it was to start from. There will be no more fighting over religion or land will be open, so that you will live out there without money system. You will not be required to pay taxes. You cannot.
Okay, so if you listen to what he's saying, he did mention, which I found interesting, was like the 4 lands. From what I understood, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah, I think, were the 4 lands he was mentioning that were very important. I don't know how true that is, but I won't take that from him. He says that it keeps going here. And what happens? You're going to meet the Great Spirit again. As you can see, the Great Spirit's right here. And what happens is the Great Spirit and the people who are still alive here, who stayed on the path of living in nature and not faltering onto the path of AI and technology and leading into self-destruction, they stayed on the path of nature. And what happens is, in the end, they ended up continuing life, and there was no more taxes, there was no more money, there was no more, everything started over. There was no different religions. Everybody came and became love and harmonious. Now, if you look at this path over here, we understand that this is the path of AI, or whatever you want to call it. This path over here is trying to do the same thing that this path down here is doing naturally. This is the artificial. AI is the artificial world. It's the artificial path. They're trying to do the same exact thing, but they're going to lead into destruction. They're going to try to bring on a world government. They're going to try to bring on the exact same thing of everybody coming together, living harmoniously. They're going to try to bring on one world currency, but it's still going to be currency, tax, debt, slave, whatever you want to call it. It's still going to be destruction and chaos in the end, but it's just trying to mimic the natural way of doing it. But they're trying to do it in a technological but instead it's trying to be done in a technological way as opposed to a natural way. So whatever's happening up here, they're mimicking it from down here. They're mimicking the natural path with technology, because they're like, oh, we're more advanced, we're this, we're that, we're that, we're this, but they're straying from nature. Well, I always say animism was the indigenous quote unquote religion of the world, because animism is nothing but a respecter of nature, and you stay on this path. What he's saying checks out. Everything he's saying to me and my understanding, this checks out. This checks out 100%. And this is the end of it right here. Let's let him go ahead and finish this real quick.
Grab everything by somebody. Like now, you have certain area for yourself, and to let everybody stay away. We deny one another everything. And we be like fruit trees out there, produce things, because each one of us has a gift to give freely. Now, after this purification, if I invent something, you can take it and use it. And if you invent something...
All right, let's go to part 2. We're on part 2 right here. So basically, he says we get to a certain point where everything that we do, we share, we live harmoniously. It has nothing to do with competition no more. We're literally just living, eating abundantly, taking care of each other, and living a loving life. And I mean, this is like the same. This is you can translate this to the Bible if you want to. I mean, it's like the same thing as the Revelations. You know how everything ends up happening, but he's speaking on it from stay on the path of nature. Stay on the path of nature. Don't deter from the path of nature and spirituality, because you get too caught up in the materialism and the technology. And even it gets to a point where he even said that at one point across that line, which I'll show you right here, because he still has the picture right here. One point across this line, if you can see right here.
I don't have to further to pay to get it.
All right, dang it, I have to go back. He even mentions one point across this line right here. wow, dang it, I can't show it to you. But there's a point in that line where he showed that there's going to get a point right before things shoot up and go really, really big with AI and technology, in my opinion, is what I think he's referring to. Somebody from the indigenous people, from the nature, you know, from somebody who how did he explain it? Somebody who is of the people of nature, the people of the tribe or nature or whatever. They're gonna go up to the others and try to convince people, hey, come up here. We got material, we got goods, we got cars, we got this, we got that, and trying to pull you on to go down the path of destruction instead of staying on the path of nature. You know what I mean? And we hear that story told over and over and over again. Like this was hella interesting. We got part 2 though. We got to keep going with this. We have to finish part 2. This is how long is this? This is, oh man, this is about as long as the first one, but it's worth it. It's actually worth listening to. So this is really, really good to know, and helps you understand how you should navigate your future. Your future should be navigated in the sense of however you want to do it. You can choose, you know, whatever path. I mean, I always say AI is the way to go as far as how technology is going to go. But if you're going to utilize AI, utilize it. But remember what he was saying. He was like, the white brother was supposed to come back and we're supposed to use technology and spirituality together and do great things with it. And that's how I'm looking at it. I'm like, well, you should be able to use this AI technology to your benefit immensely. But then like me, I'm like, yo, and at that point, you should be like on 1,000 acres of land growing trees and vines and gardens and shrubs. I mean, you should just have a huge area of nothing but just growth and contributing back to the land, because the trees that you grow is going to oxygenate oxygenate the oxygen, purify the oxygen because of understanding carbon dioxide and all that good stuff. Like, you should be getting a lot of land and just growing into the earth. And that should be, you know, also with the trees that you grow, the fruit trees and in the vegetable gardens and in the vineyards and vines, if you're doing grapes and strawberries and stuff, like you should be able to take what you make from technology and then use it to plant back into the earth. That's how I look at it. And that's how you should be moving, in my humble opinion, because I'm always like, get back to nature, stay with nature. But it does cost. it does cost. It's not something you do easily free. You do got to have some kind of finances behind it. But when you do get it, don't just go off and like, well, in my opinion, just don't just go off and live this modern life. Like, no, just get a bunch of land and get back to nature. You know what I mean? Like, start growing shit. Just grow all your stuff. And then, you know, matriculate that knowledge down to your generations of children or whoever it is that you pass it on to. That's how I see it. And that helps you stay on the path of nature without going off on this path of AI and technology. But at some point, it's like, what all do you need? That's up to you to determine, but what all do you really need? You want to have a healthy body. You want to have, you know, a beautiful wife or wives, however you want to live, and a bunch of kids and a lot of acres of land and be able to produce your own food, because that's the main thing. You know, you want to give back to the earth. And that's what he's basically talking about, saying just keep it, stay on nature. A lot of things are going to happen, but as long as you take care of Mother Earth is going to take care of you. And that's what I'm getting from it. And just be careful not to fall for what he mentioned was like a false prophet in a sense, which one of your own people, one of your own kind who was walking with you on a path to nature dips off the path to nature, goes to the path of AI and tries to convince you, yo, we got more money, we got more cars, we got technology, we can do whatever we want, we are advanced. But then he says in the end, they're going on a path of destruction because everything to them is material. And everything is just like, you know what I mean? Like the food that they have, they don't know what's in it. Everything that they do is just materialistic. There's nothing, you know, earthly. There's no source to it. It's just all like popcorn existence, if that makes sense. But let's finish on part 2. Let's continue with part 2. So here we go. Let's continue.
Struggle to pay and pay to get it and be free. So that's the way it's going to be from there on. And they may even speak one language again. But whose language is a question there. Is that because after the Great Spirit is with us, there'll be a new life laid out by the purifier. Purifiers will cleanse this land. And whoever stood fast with it, even there may be one person remain up to this point, to that person's faith and courage, or those that come to help him to keep it, that many people will be saved to come out and meet the Great Spirit. So this Great Spirit, purifier, and the ones that kept the faith will lay out a new plan for all the rest of the people that survive. From there on, there'll be a peace, real peace from there on. So.
Okay, that was a very profound statement. I don't know if y'all caught that. He said that upon meeting the Great Spirit at some point, whenever you get there, it could damn near just be one person left. Like, it's going to be some great trial and tribulation to get to meeting the Great Spirit. So you got to have at least somebody get to the Great Spirit so the nature can carry on, which in a sense, we understand how the story works. We know how it works. And I always say the bloodline has to stay strong through this whole thing. But let's keep going.
After many years of knowledge along this line, about 6 or 7 years later after they told me about these things, I was wondering about who are those people that's going to purify this land? How are they going to do it? So they explained to me, we have a gourd rattle that we still use in our ceremony. And that gourd rattle represents the world. On one side, this figure is on the drawing. And another one is on this side. There'll be a gourd rattle. We still use them. The one old man told me, take a look. Whoever has this symbol in this world going to shake us up 2 times. And it just came to me quickly. And I wondered, what nation ever someone something similar to this one? Because they will be very intelligent people. They're going to produce many inventions of all time. They're going to be so powerful that they're going to use that to shake us up real hard. And they're going to almost destroy themselves. But later out of it, a new generation is going to rise. This time they will know what to do in the right manner. For the right purpose. Then around it there's a sun symbol. Those people are very intelligent people that have that symbol. They have produced many things, invent many things. And they become powerful. And they also shake us up 2 times. Second time with the help of another. These 2 have shook us up 2 times real hard. Warning us. And they almost destroy themselves. But out of it a new generation is coming. Stronger. Much better equipped and everything, powerful things going to be developed by these 2 people. Then the third one that will finally bring about purification of this land in this continent would be a man with red cap, red hat, or red cloak. Now we do not know who that nation is or what people, but they say those people will have a large population and they will also have much scientific inventions of all types. Very powerful nation going to be. So once he starts moving, these others 2 will join him with all their power and might. The 3 of them going to come here quickly together, and nothing can stop them. This time they're going to come right here.
He said red cap, red hat, and red cloak. What nation could that be? An all red nation. All red nation. Let's see. What does that look like? All red nation. What is an all red nation? All red nation. Oh my goodness. What is the all red? What is an all red nation? Red head, red. I mean, I see this, but I don't know if this counts. Women of all red nations? Red hat, red cap, red hat, red hair, red cap, red cloak nation. Who could that be? Who could that be? Is it women? I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, the future is female. That's what they're going towards. I don't know. I'm seeing this, but I don't know. I guess I should put this up here. Let me see. I can't even see my thing anymore. I don't even know what y'all looking at. Hold on. Okay, y'all looking at this. I don't know. I'll put this up here just to see. Maybe in time passes, somebody go back and look at this live stream, and maybe I'm right or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But this is what I came up with. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Where is it? Right here. So I did red hair, red cap, red cloak nation. It says why women are dressing up as Margaret Atwoods or whatever. A combination of red cap and red cloak is a powerful cultural political symbol, most notably representing solidarity in women's right protests and folkloric origins of Little Red Riding Hood across various European nations. While the red Phrygian cap historically symbolizes liberty, modern activists in nations like Israel and the United States adopt these garments to mirror the dystopian themes of bodily autonomy and resistance. Huh. Interesting. The tale's origin traces to Middle Eastern folk tales 2,000 years ago, evolving into European versions in France, Italy, and Germany or German regions. So got the Little Red Riding Hood story. And this is when I hit images. This is what we come up with. I mean, red hair, red cap. But I don't see a red cap. I see a white cap. Well, these people got red caps and red cloaks. So I don't know. But I don't know if what this represents. But maybe in time we'll figure it out. But let's let him keep going. Let's keep going down this path. This is interesting.
They say even they're going to come here so fast they come here for breakfast. Now this is nice clear day today, calm, everything, nice. Tomorrow morning maybe we get up at breakfast time and the whole sky will be dark. Now this is nice clear day. Said, I don't know what will cause the darkening of the sky. Then he said the people will be raining from the sky. And in one day they're going to get control of this whole continent. And they're going to cut us up into 4 sections. And they're going to look for a leader that still remains, a native leader still remaining to the spiritual path. And to him they will gather people here to him. And they will say, now these people, I gave them the religion and the duty to produce things, to invent things, and to become powerful people. When they came here, what have they been doing to you? Now, suppose he was the last chief still remaining in this area. They will ask him, and they will say, well, those people have destroyed my people. They have taken care of and taken everything from my people, land, rivers, and hunting rights, and everything that I use. They just took it away from me against my opposition. Then those that have done that, what we call purification, would be the real wicked people. People have taken advantage of them in that manner. These figures had no heads on them. That will be their supreme punishment. Because right in daylight, right in public, they're going to weed out those bad people and they're going to chop their heads off, they said. And that is what they said will happen. That's first punishment. Then they say, what about these people here? And he will look at them and said, well, at least they make an attempt to help us. They did try to do something to help us, protect us. And they will pull out all those people. They will know you can't get away. They said they'll have some means of catching you. And they will bring those people. There'll be a lot of those people. Then they will say, look, you have disturbed this land, life, these people. You have polluted their rivers and land and everything. Now you go and clean it up. And whoever survives out of that will be able to stay with the leader here. Then they say, what about these people? These people have really suffered, been persecuted, laughed at, they've been punished, and they've been beat up also because they really stood by me. And they will pull out those people. and they will be brought to him, and they will be respected. That is what they said will happen at this period by the people that has this symbol and man with red cap and red coat. They will come from east direction, from sun, where the sun rises, and they will come here quickly, and they will have something to paralyze all man-made machinery. Everything come to a standstill. All power will go out. All man-made machinery come to a standstill, and we will be helpless. Then they just come and take it over. And this is what they will happen to by those people that coming from the east direction. Now, if those people are commissioned by the Great Spirit to do that for the Great Spirit, if we can't clean it ourselves here, and if they fail, then the Great Spirit said there are another people coming from west direction. They'll be coming here for a long time. They're just taking this time slowly. They're coming and building up more power, more people, more invention, and all that, and they just kept coming. If these people doesn't come here to purify this for the Great Spirit, then this one will come. And they said, when that happened, don't get them on the housetop and watch, because those people are coming from the west direction. There'll be millions of people coming up on the west coast, like ants crawling up on the land. And they will have no mercy for anyone. They'll be very cruel and severe. They're not going to ask questions. They're just going to whip everything as they come. They're going looking for someone that will hold on to the spiritual path here. They're going to do that. This is what they said is going to happen. With these two purifiers on both sides are coming to this continent here where we started from, and we came back. We just about to destroy ourselves, mess it up. We can't straighten ourselves up. Then these purifiers will have to do it. This is what they said will happen here. So whoever comes out, then we will meet the Great Spirit. But if not, if no one listens, then these elders, religious men, will go down into the kiva, go through a ceremony, then they go over a prayer to four corners of this earth, to the above and to the below, and said, all right, none of these, my children, my people have listened to me or helped me. Now you take over. That's when the cloud will rise like this. Lightning will strike 2 or 3 times all over this land. Like the old people said, if you have light power line in your house now, that power is going to run in and just blow up everything in there. And everything is going to happen when that lightning strikes. And so that's why some of these traditional people don't want power line into their village yet. They don't want to put it in their homes. And then they also don't want running water inside of the house, because that's going to be so polluted one of these days. And that's going to be affected in some way when white man or whoever has the power, like the goat full of ashes, which you now would interpret to be hydrogen bomb or atom bomb or whatever bomb they have now invented, so powerful that once that hit someplace, it's going to pollute everything. So these are the things that I explained clearly, and I can't really go into all that detail, but it brings up to date what we're facing today. I've seen many things happening along this line now that it's being fulfilled. So they told us, go as far as you can to explain some of these to as many people, because there is still a faith by our elders that someday our white brother somewhere or somebody's going to realize it or hear it and understand it, and they're going to search and they're going to find out this is true. They're going to start going around to try and correct this before the purifiers come. So that is why whatever happening in our area, we don't want industries in there yet, because once that happens, those that's going to throw those gourd full of ashes into this continent, it might hit all around us, but it's going to hit those places where we are developing those kind of things. And it also say that we must not disturb the spiritual center, just leave it alone, so that if anything happens outside of it, if some of you people survive, at least you can come to this area called a refuge for all mankind who survive those periods, that this will not be disturbed, so that there'll be a chance for some of you people to come and leave there or to start from there again. So this is what old people's instructions were, and the prophecy and the warnings, and what they say. A lot of things I don't at that time don't believe, but many things have been fulfilled. And I know there's old people, 80 or 90, 100-year-old men, religious men, are talking these things, and it's in parallel to some of the world religious writers And so I know they're telling the truth. So this to the Hopi is a male, representing male, and this was representing female. These two are the main sources of life that we must not disturb. We may not interfere with it one of these days. Once we do that, then our life is down to a point where it would be lost forever. So we were.
Oh no, he said one is male and one is female. We cannot disturb these two. We're seeing that being disturbed right now. Wow. And these prophecies coming from people 80, 90, 100 years old. This is crazy. Not crazy. Well, it's crazy how some of the things they spoke about was past his generation. As far as like the cars and the telephone wire, where he thought it was telephones, but it was the internet. Where he thought it was an automobile, it was electric vehicle. This is why. And then this is the female symbol. And this is the male. Okay. And then he said if these two things they can't be messed with, and if they are, it's gonna. Oh my goodness! Wow.
Not to do that. So these are some of the things that's knowledge contained in the presentation that's given in 1948 in Changopa village. So I believe this is about all I would give you on this knowledge here. Okay. In this land, native people were taking care of this in their spiritual way.
Okay, so here we go. So the first one we watched was 1972. They had that. So now this is 20 years later, or 21 years later, 1973. Buddy aged good for 21 years. So now this is 1993, and he's talking. So how HOPI Prophecy with David Montague, a spiritual leader, elder, part 2 of 2. All right, so now this is 21 years later, I believe, because right here they changed it. Oh no, never mind.
Interfere with it one of
but
these
this is
days.
1972.
Once we do that, then our life
because
is.
The first one right here, they mentioned that this was 1972 when they were talking, and he looked the same. So I'm assuming this is 1972. And then when we go over, you'll see he aged. He aged
down to a point where it would be lost forever.
21
so
years later,
not to do
maybe.
that. So these are some of the things that's knowledge contained in the presentation that's given in 1948 in Changopa village. So I believe this is about all I would give you on this knowledge here. Okay. In this land, native people were taking care of this in their spiritual ways, strong ceremony, for thousands of years or more. When the white brother came, he don't know how to live on this land, so we gave him food and lodge and let him live here. But now there are laws, rules, and regulations. They're just chopping up our land and life. Our cultural religion are about to be broken down. And thousands of our people right now are homeless in our own country. It's the only home we have, only country we have. We have roots right here. But foreign people are about to take everything. So that's why the native people are concerned, because nature is already acting. Earthquake, flooding, tornadoes, and maybe severe winter this time, or something. Seasons change already. And that's the message that I'm bringing from the elders, that we must tell the people today to better correct the things that's going on in this land, that native people are holding this in a simple way through prayer, meditation, and ceremony to keep this land life in balance as much as possible. But that is about to be broken down. But no one seems to want to do anything about it. They don't think about what they're doing to the native people's land, their home in the home country. We talk about peace and justice, equality, United States law, United Nations talking about human rights, but they haven't done anything since they set our land, set their building on our land, talking about human rights, equality, but native people are about to be destroyed right now. That's what the message is all about. So you people better hurry up, get to your leaders and stop some of the laws that's destroying our culture, religion, way of life. Take our land away from us by force, right up in big mountains. Navajo people don't want to move because they've been there for a long, long time. And we take care of this land together with Hopi and other pueblos for a long time. The government passed a law that says that we've got to put barbed wire in between them. We must divide them. And now they're going to relocate thousands of Navajos from that big mountain because the law says so. They can move on because the law said this is Hopi land. And then this one's the Navajo land. And the Hopi were caught in there to move them out by force. And then Navajo people don't want to move. Right now, just 2 to 3 days ago, they had a meeting, they're not going to move. They said if the National Guards come out and drag them out, they're not going to move. If they're going to shoot them down, they want to die right there being shot by American people. That's what's going on right now. But you people don't aware of what's going on in this country. This is terrible. United Nations, December 10th, and they want me to speak, so I was the 20th speaker. And it was late, but I had to deliver it by word of mouth. I had a letter to deliver, but from the heart I know what's in there, what my leader says. So on December 10th, they hear a lot of Native people from all over Western Hemisphere. And I was the last speaker, I was 20th one. Right in the middle of my talk, 90-mile-an-hour wind came, almost knocked the United Nations over. A terrible storm developed. Tidal wave never happened like that before. 2 or 3 feet of water on New Jersey. Blackout, lightning and thunder. There was snow on the north of the island there. But right in the United Nations, is within that area where Native people are, it rained, but it was protected. So next morning, we formed a circle and went through a prayer. Someone asked the forces from 4 directions above, below, to stop those kind of terrible things so that it would be a nice day so that our Native people go back safely home. By noon, the sun came up, everything become calm, airplanes moving, everything starts moving in a natural way. So that is the last delivered by my HOPI people. So now, they finally sent a letter just a week ago that they will let 4 spiritual leaders from east, west, north, and south with the HOPI to bring that message to the United Nations, that ancient knowledge, prophet warning that's been known for them long time ago, they're going to deliver it to the United Nations because they represent many nations around the earth. So they want to find out who is going to help the Native people in this country. When the white people came, we gave them food and lunch and food and everything. We welcomed them. But now we are about to be destroyed by them. So now we need to know who's going to bring about justice, peace, equality, human rights to the Native people. Well, we all know that we as human beings are the part of this earth. And we're always working on Mother Earth all the time, looking for food. And Mother Earth continue to give food, everything. We all came from, everything came from there. That's why we refer to this earth as a great, powerful living being. It's like a mother. And so those land that were being stripped with machinery, trees, be chopping trees, thousands of trees be chopped down in a few seconds now. They go coal, uranium, other minerals in the ground, and that disturbing natural nature, unbalancing nature, so that we're all going to be affected by it. And that is why the HOPI felt that many Native people, as well as other people here, they're supposed to have education. They got a lot of books to learn from. They go to college, university, and talk about these things. They should understand now what they're doing to this Mother Earth. And so, in that area, as I say, is considered to be a spiritual center. So most people realize that it's true. They may form a human chain around the Four Corners area and stop everything there, pull out all the things that endangers people's land and life, or don't let anyone go in there again to disturb. We should keep this Four Corners area in balance and just leave it the way it is, the way the Great Spirit made it. It may be that whoever helped protect it will be able to survive, because that's the only way we're going to survive as we're going towards the most dangerous period now. If we don't correct, change this thing to survival, it's a very important thing. When Oxford University in 1988, there was 100 spiritual leaders, Dalai Lama, so there are 100 spiritual leaders and 100 parliamentarians. They have a big globe on the stage, and underneath the global survival. And they were asking questions. This world is in trouble. We live in one world. But what shall we do? And HOPI means peace, kind, gentle, truthful, humble person. And I represent those people. And I'm a HOPI, and I have been initiated in society, Kachina society, and I know what they're talking about. So in the Second World War, I didn't register. I refuse to go in the army because we have no business going out, and the United States government has no business forcing us in there without permission. And so I didn't go, and I think almost 7 years I spent in federal prison camp right up here on this mountain, Mount Lemmon.
Ah, see, I was right. He did go to prison. He did go to, I think he said 7 years? He went to prison for 7 years for not wanting to, was it the military you didn't want to join? I didn't catch that exactly, but I remember saying that he did go to prison for a while. Apparently it was over some nonsense. But I think I didn't catch exactly what he was saying. He mentioned something about the military, but I don't know if he went in the military or they got him because he didn't go into the military. I'm not sure.
They were building a road up to the top of the mountain. I spent almost 7 years up there trying to be peaceful Hopi, not to harm, kill, or destroy any people.
The way for us people is to get her well, is to go back to the spiritual way and live according to the Great Spirit's life plan, because he had given certain group of people certain instructions to follow, certain instructions to how to pray and all that. But it seems though that all over this land, the people had forgotten the teachings of the Great Spirit, and they have gone away from it. Now we're all confused. Our life is corrupted again. We must go back to the spiritual road and live according to his instructions. Talking to you people here, this is not a political issue. This is the spiritual level that we are talking.
Okay, so that's the end of it. So that's the end of HOPI speaking about the HOPI prophecy. Now that was really interesting, and to see that he was able to pass down a message orally in tradition and hear him speak on it, and to see that what was being spoken on, I can honestly put together what he's saying to a sense, or to a certain degree, and I could hear that what he was speaking about, he was speaking on electrical EVs and AI and internet. You could tell that's what he was talking about, and at his time he didn't understand that, because he was like telephones and automobiles, but he didn't make. That's crazy when you listen to the prophecy, what he's talking about at a later time than where you're at later in life. It starts to even make more sense, and you realize the message that he was getting wasn't quite in his time, but a time further past him. And then he spoke on roads in the sky and stuff like that. He said airplanes, but we never know what may happen when it comes to that. And he also talked about a house or home in the sky. He said when you see that in the sky, that's when you really need to be like on the land, knowing how to, garden and plant fruits and vegetables and tilling the garden and land. So that was a very interesting understanding of the HOPI prophecy and how it will unfold. And it's just like a story that you can honestly tie together and see that the world's going to split in two directions. And hopefully that, is like he mentioned, it's going to be a huge trial and tribulation that's going to go on. It's going to happen. Are you going to be willing and able to stand your ground and stay on earth and till the land? Or are you going to go up to the material way of living and enjoy, all the great, fantastic, materialism way of life that's going to happen and how things are going to go when this AI pops off? And he spoke on the great gold ash or something like that. He said there's something the man would have, and he spoke on how it would destroy water in a sense. He said rivers and other things, but mainly he was talking about water. I equate that to data centers. That's what I equal that to. I think he's speaking on data centers. So that's crazy. That's crazy when you look at it, and it's just the power of nature, and it really brings it into fruition to get you to understand that nothing is new under the sun. And we've been told and we've been warned, regardless if you believe in anything or not, it doesn't change the fact that there is a ending to this all at some point. Like, things are going to end. The path to nature never ends, but there's another path that leads to destruction that will have an ending that will come. And that's what it's telling you. And that's what Bible teaches you. And that's what other ancient texts teach you. And if you go to like Hindu and Buddhist or animist, That's what they teach you. They're always like, man, respect nature. Stay in tune with nature. Don't strive. Don't leave. Don't walk away from nature. It'll always take care of you. Just, humble yourself and don't fall victim to the shiny object syndrome. All right. So we have another one. Another dude, he's going to talk about the kachina he's going to talk about the kachino. He's going to say the kachina references the America in your Bible. This is about a guy I've done before, but I like to bring him back as he speaks on it from a different perspective, but it's the same concept. He's going to talk about the prophecy of America coded, and listen to how he puts it. And he's on the same lines of the HOPI prophecy, but listen to how he puts this context, and you'll see that the stories still line up in the same sense. All right, so let's go. I got like, how many of these we got? This is only a 5-minute video, 6 minutes, 7 minute video, and a 9-minute video. So we got about, the 9, 7, we got about 20 minutes left of things that we're going to go over. So we still got a good little ways to go, but I have to get these out because these are really interesting things that these men are going to talk about. So I have to bring this to you because, who else is going to bring it to you? Me. We got to keep nature alive. All right, so here we go. Beta Maccabeus is his name. Go check out his thing right here. Here it is down here, if you can see it. All right, so let's go ahead and listen to what he has to say. And he's a very great teacher. I enjoy him. So here we go.
The red kachina is described in various books of scripture in the Bible. Some were taken out and would reappear in the latter days, which is today. You can also say the last days or the changing of time. The red star, red planet, kachina purifier, destroyer was described using names like fearful constellation, fiery conflagration, cosmic fire, spoiler, also destroyer in the scriptures. But before I go any further, you're going to need to know some important background information. The Bible, the King James Version to be specific, is a complete book about the revelations of the United States of America today, from its Alpha or Genesis to the last days, the Omega, which is today. The initiate of the past with King James coded the book using past nations like Assyria, Amorites, and Egypt to describe the continent as a whole or locations in the continent we call America. The initiates, along with King James, wrote the Bible with layered meanings and secrets, in this case, America. The exoteric meaning would be your literal surface meaning. So code names like Assyria, Egypt would usually be understood by the uninitiated as said nation of the past. However, in the latter days, which is today, the 7th cycle, when the Hebrew initiate of the latter days appear, they will use Pardes, which is the Hebrew Kabbalistic acronym describing the 4 ways to unlock the exoteric meaning and interpretation of the coded mysteries like Assyria, Egypt, etc., referring to America. Again, exoteric is literal and openly discussed. It's also addressed and taught. And in terms of Pardes, is referred to as Peshat. Now, esoteric is the deeper, private mystery known to few, and in terms of Pardes is referred to as the Sod. This is the beginning of understanding the arts. Why? Because Psalms 89 verse 17, for thou art the glory of their strength. Notice art is in italics, separating it from the literal meaning. The arts is the glory of your strength. That is the way you're going to navigate through the mysteries. Now, if anyone is coming to you and not using the exegesis way or the arts to interpret your Bible, he or she was not sent. They chose themselves. King James, who was not a Caucasian, was a Semite Hebrew. He translated the Septuagint, which included the Torah and 46 New Testaments, into English and created the King James Version. He sent it to North America with European Hebrews that were relocating from Europe to America. Mind you, there was already other tribes of Hebrews here. Now, I know some of you are conditioned to think King James was white and it was all white sailors coming to America, not the black Hebrew with white or other indentured workers. You're also conditioned to think the Hebrew ruling class were only the Moors of Spain, but the scripture says different. As you can see, the book of Acts ends abruptly at Acts 28 verse 26. Why? because Acts 29 describes the Hebrews' travel to Europe from North Africa, all except Judah and Benjamin, and it describes how they looked. So the book was written by Hebrews, translated by Hebrews, coded by Hebrews, then delivered by Hebrews to Hebrews, because these Hebrew generations would eventually, in the last days, raise up the true initiates who would uncover the sod, the deeper mysteries. And the book would be interpreted and translated esoterically by Hebrew initiates of the latter days, which is today, from the year 2000 to 2027. Even the topography, landmarks, rivers, and history of some of these ancient nations match this country almost too well. Even though man's ego tell him that he's the first to do everything, there's nothing new under the sun. This isn't the first cycle. This has been repeated many times over. King James sent his Bible to Turtle Island, or Earth, the name given to this land by the indigenous. Another word in the Bible for America is earth in many precepts, referred to countless times in the Bible, but to the uninitiated, they think it's referring to the whole world. King James and the ancients knew America was the epicenter for a change of the time to come, and it's here now, but he was sworn to secrecy. Only in the latter days, when those Hebrews by genetics, not religion, would be awakened. Colossians 1 verse 26, even the mystery which had been hid for ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints. In the next video, we will go over the Bible references describing the Red Kachina destroyer, but there are many references to Earth. I had to make that clear before I went any further. All praise the Most High.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next one where he just talked about. The next one, he's going to talk about the Red Kachina. Let me see. Do I have the right one? I got to make sure I got it in order. Then the appearance in the 7 year. Hopefully I got this in the right order. Let me, you know what? Let me just double check and make sure I got this in the right order. I should have in the right order. Let me see. Let me make sure I got this right. I thought I did, but you know, can never be too sure. So let's see here. This is going to be 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure I got this in the right order. And if I don't, I'm going to do it in the order that I have it in, because I know I'm not that far off. So here it is. Okay. So we, Kachina, America in your Bible. And there it is. 7. Okay. So I had them backwards. So this, or was it this, and this? I don't know. We're going to do it the order that I have it in. Yeah, we're going to do it the order that I have it in, which I'm pretty close. All right, so we're going to go into the next one he's talking about, similar to what he was saying. So here we go. This is what we're going to go into. Here's the next video by him, talking about the blue Kachina, sign number 3. So here we go. 7-year warning for us to change. Similar, basically talking about the HOPI Prophecy. So going back with HOPI. So this goes back to HOPI's prophecy. So we're going to rehash HOPI's prophecy coming from another person, but still you're going to realize it's along the same context of what we just heard from the original. Here we go.
The 5 heavenly signs. As we begin to identify the 5 heavenly signs, some have passed and those that are to come. In the previous video, we went over number 1, the solar eclipse that occurred in 2017, the next to occur in 2024. Number 2, solar flares or CMEs, which the largest in 100 years documented was also 2017. Now I'll go over the heavenly sign number 3 that was given to us by the Indian Hopi tribes, the HOPI Prophecy, Blue Kachina, Red Kachina Destroyer. But before that, I'll begin by saying this. The priests and the pastors differed in denomination, but they all agreed that we should not look to the firmament, the stars, the sun, or the zodiac for the unfolding of time, or we shall perish in hell. At the end, they ended by saying, "Thus said the Lord, but thus says you are a liar." So I ask you, pastors and priests, who sent you? Because it wasn't the Almighty God, Yod-He, Vahu-He, Elohim, Allah, or the Lord Melchizedek, Yod-He-Wah, Yehovah, or Thoth in his Egyptian Atlantean name. I ask you, priests and churches who mislead the people, what is this? Genesis 1:14, and God said, "Let there be light in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and for years." Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Luke 21 and 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws near. The third heavenly sign, the gradual 7-year appearance of the 2 blue planets called Kachina, until they become fully visible. They started to become visible in 2017 and scheduled to become more visible in 2022. Understand this, the revelation will come through the lineage of the Adamic seed. All knowledge is embedded in our DNA, and at this time, those who have made themselves prepared will get the knowledge of the ancients. And this young brother here, I'll let him give you an intro to the Blue Kachina. To show you how the Most High works, both our information fits like a glove. Even some of the pictures of the celestial bodies we got from the same place, even though we don't even know each other. I just found it on TikTok.
Blue Kachina is
the destroyer.
Is basically something that's going to come to the Americas and destroy it again. It's going to cause the sea levels to rise, and a lot of people, sadly, is going to perish in that time. But let's look at the Blue Kachina in 2017. Then we're going to look at 2021. You see the blue spots on there? Observe it. Now let's look at 2022's and 21's version of the Blue Kachina. It came very close. One more for 2017. Now 2022. It's very, very close now. I told you, it's very near, and you don't have to believe what's going to happen, but it's going to happen. This kingdom is going to come to an end in the Americas.
Okay, now I'm going to go through the story of the HOPI Blue Kachina. I'm going to go through it in a little bit more detail than he did. This is a picture of the Book of the Hopis by Frank Waters. In the final days, we will look up in our heavens and we will witness the return of the 2 brothers who helped create this world in the birthing of time. Po Gang Hoya is the guardian of the North Pole, and his brother Po Long Hoya is the guardian of the South Pole. So there's 2 celestial bodies that will become visible that they call Kachina, one at the North Pole and one at the South Pole. In the final days, the Blue Kachina will come to be with his nephews, and they will return Earth to its natural rotation, which is counterclockwise. I'll get to that another time. The twins will be seen in our northern skies. They will come and visit to see who still remembered the original teachings. They will bring many of their star family with them in the final days. So they're not the only celestial bodies that's going to show up. They're just going to be the first sign as a warning for us to change our ways. The return of the Blue Kachina, who is known as Nangong Sho, will be the alarm clock that tells us of the new day and a new way of life, a new world that is coming. This is where the changes begin. They will start as fires that burn within us, and we will burn up with desires and conflict if we do not remember the original teachings and return to the peaceful ways of life. Now, they have articles describing the return of the...
I have to say something right here. Where does it say right here? It said, this is where the changes will begin. They will start as fires that burn within us, and we will burn up with desires and conflict if we do not remember the original teachings and return to the peaceful way of life. So when we start burning up with desires and conflict, it's because we have not remembered the original teachings and returns to the peaceful way of life. So are we seeing that in today's life? Are we burning up with desires and constant conflict amongst each other? It's interesting to see and watch how this pans out and listen to the words that they're saying and listen to what they're using. Because that's what the other guy was saying. The other guy that was talking about the HOPI Prophecy, he was saying the same thing. Like, we're not taking care of the land. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. This is just, he was just so upset and trying to figure out why, you know, things are going the way they're going. But as you see, these words, they hold weight. But let's keep going.
Turn to the peaceful ways of life. Now, they have articles describing the return of the Blue Kachina in 2017. This article says on Saturday, February 11, 2017, there was a triple confirmation of these prophecies with a full moon and the appearance of a possible Blue Kachina comet. As of this writing, the blue comet has been visible for 2 months through binoculars, but at this time was only 7.4 million miles away in its closest approach. It streaked across the sky with blue-green head and a long tail. It will be visible until the end of February. And here is an important point. It will return to speak to us again in 2022. Now, we use the government FAA cameras. This is in 2021 at Wolf Creek. And this is night, and you can see it's visible, or evening. Wolf Creek again, 2021, it's very visible. That's at 15 o'clock. This is in Eek, Alaska. It's visible again. Alaska again at a different time period. Visible again. So it is here, the Blue Kachina. This is the warning from 2017 for us to make a preparation and change our ways and go back to our natural ways of living. And as it said, we will be in conflict within ourselves, knowing we need to change and actually having to make that change. Next is the Red Kachina Destroyer.
All right, so let's go ahead and see the Red Kachina Destroyer. Let's move it on over here. And here it is right here, the final one from this guy. He's put it all together with the HOPI Prophecy. So listen to how this message pans out. So here we go. We got to keep going.
The Blue Kachina is the warning sign that began 2017 and the gradual appearance of it for a 7-period time. During that 7-period time, it's a sign for us to go back to the ways, the natural ways of things, the natural order of the universe. Simplicity in all things. And not far behind it will be the Red Kachina Purifier. I'm going to have to read this one, it's a bit lengthy, so bear with me. Not far behind the twins will come the Purifier, the Red Star Kachina, who will bring the day of purification. On this day, the earth, her creatures, and all lives as we know it will change forever. There will be messengers that will precede the coming of the Purifier. They will leave messages on those on earth who remember the old ways. The messages will be found written in the living stones, through the sacred grains, and even the waters. Crop circles have been found in ice. The Purifier will issue forth a great red light. All things will change in their manner of being. Every living thing will be offered the opportunity to change from the largest to the smallest thing. Those who return to the ways given to us in the original teachings and live a natural way of life will not be touched by the coming Purifier. So just so you know, it's very possible to live 2 realities, where it can rain on your home and it be sunshine on mine, based on the vibration or the frequency that is in my home and in yours. And they will survive and build a new world. Only in the ancient teachings will the ability to understand the message be found. So you must study. It is important to understand that these messages will be found upon every living thing, even within our bodies, your DNA, even within the drop of blood. All life forms will receive the message from the twins, those that fly, the plants, even the rabbits. And if you notice on the news, they say they see cows walking in perfect straight lines, or some of them just circling, just in a continuous circle and don't stop for days. The appearance of the twins begin a period of 7 years, which will be the final opportunity to change our ways. Everything we experience is all a matter of choice. We've all been given free will. Many will appear to have lost their souls in these final days. So intense will the nature of the changes be that those who are weak in spiritual awareness will go insane, for we are nothing without spirit. So
many will appear to have lost their souls in these final days. So intense will the nature of the changes be that those who are weak in spiritual awareness will go insane. We are seeing that happen now, which is crazy. It's crazy when you can actually pay attention and see it. It's like, yo, this is wild. This is wild. Many will appear to have lost their souls in these final days. And we're seeing, oh man, this is crazy. We are seeing that now. We're seeing it. We're seeing it. We're seeing it. Let's keep going.
So when you see all these people with these cases of mental illnesses and they're giving them different names, it's all the same thing. You have not been fulfilled. You've lived a physical life and you're a spiritual being having a physical experience. Your spirit is in conflict with your physical. And that's what they call your mental illness. They will disappear, for they are just hollow vessels for anything to use. If you don't fill the vessel with spirit and belief, then you are open for more non-benevolent beings to jump right inside you. Life will be so bad in the cities that many will choose to leave this plane in whole groups. Only those who return to the old ways will be able to find peace of mind. For in the earth we shall find relief from the madness that will be all around us. It will be a very hard time for women and children. So all you women talking about you don't need no man, I'm telling you right now, you better buckle up. For they will be shunned, and many of the children in these times will be unnatural. Some being from the stars, some from past worlds, and some will be even created by men. You think clones is a lie? Even the HOPI Prophecy knew they were going to clone each other. Some will be created by man in an unnatural manner and will be soulless. Many of the people in this time will be empty in spirit. They will have sampako, meaning no life force in their eyes. As we get close to the time of the arrival of the purifier, there will be those who walk as ghosts through the cities. Through the canyons, they will have constructed their man-made mountains. Those that walk through these places will be very heavy in their walk. It will appear almost painful as they take each step, for they will be disconnected from their spirit and earth. After the arrival of the twins, they will begin to vanish before your eyes like much smoke. Others will have great deformities, both in mind and upon the bodies. There will be those who will walk in the body that are
Others will have great deformities, both in the mind and upon their bodies. That I did that yesterday. I did something about that yesterday, speaking on the deformities, and you can see the deformities on people. Where I talked about the China bubble face thing, but I also talk about the pillow face thing where people are messing around and taking too many cosmetic fillers. They're deformed in their mind and on their wow, that's crazy.
Mind and upon the bodies. There will be those who will walk in the body that are not from this reality. Remember, they're getting.
There will be those who would walk in the body that are not from this reality. I told you there are different races among us, not by color, but by species, in terms of like Pleiadians, Greys, Reptilians, Anunnakis, and whatever you want to call them. There's different races among us. Even the Bible tried to break that down to you. That's why Jesus was able to see the demons. And whenever Jesus spoke to a flesh, he didn't see the flesh, he saw the demons. I say he was astral projected 24/7. So therefore, he could see the actual being that was inside of the vessel. It says it right there. There will be those who walk in the body that are not from this reality. Wow. I'm on it. I'm on it.
You're prepared for aliens now, because they know these things are coming. For many of the gateways that once protected us will be open. The shield that has protected the earth above and below.
CERN, Howard the Duck, CERN, opening a portal, a gateway, and probably a bunch of other different things too, but there's one.
Will be open. So you're going to get what they call UFOs coming from up top, and you're going to get creatures from the second dimension coming up top. There will be much confusion between the sexes. This is definitely straightforward today, where now they're telling you there's another sex other than male and female. And I got to look at a man and I got to call him a woman. There'll be confusion between the sexes and the children and their elders. Life will get very perverted. There will be little social order in these times. Many will ask for the mountains themselves to fall upon them just to end their misery. Still, others will appear as if untouched by what is occurring. The ones who remember the original teachings and have reconnected their hearts and spirit. Again, we can live two realities. Not because Rome is falling on you means it's going to fall on me. Because what would be my reward for following the orders of the Father and the order of the universe? Those who remember who their mother and father is. When the purifier comes, we will see him first as a small red star, which will come very close and sit in our heavens watching us to see how well we have remembered the sacred teachings. This purifier will show us many miraculous signs in our heavens. In this way, we will know the Creator is not a dream. Even those who do not feel their connection with Spirit will see the face of the Creator across the sky. Things unseen will be felt very strongly. Many things will begin to occur that will not make sense, for reality will be shifted back in and out of the dream state. There will be many doorways to the lower world that will open up at this time. The lower world is the second dimension. Things long forgotten will come back to remind us of past creations. All scientific experiments with DNA of animal and man and all those creatures created, you're going to see them. All living things will want to be present for this day when time ends. And we enter forever the cycle of the fifth world, fifth dimension. We will receive many warnings allowing us to change our ways from below the earth as well as above. Then one morning, in a moment, we will awaken to the red dawn. The sky will be the color of blood. Many things will then begin to happen that right now we are not sure of their exact nature, for much of the reality will not be as it is now. There will be many strange beasts upon the earth in those days, some from the past and some that we have never seen. The nature of mankind will appear strange in these times when we walk between worlds, and we will house many spirits even within our bodies. After a time, we will again walk with our brothers from the stars and rebuild earth, but not until the purifier has left his mark upon the universe. No living thing will go untouched, here or in the heavens. The way through this time is said, it is to be found in our heart, reuniting with our spiritual self, getting simple and returning to living with and upon the earth and in harmony with her creatures, remembering that we are the caretakers, the firekeepers of the spirit. Our relatives from the stars are coming to see how well we have fared on our journey. I'm not trying to convince you or nobody of nothing. What is, and what will be, will be. My job is just to spark you. If it resonates with you, it does. If it doesn't, then it just doesn't. But the message has to be given.
And the message has to begin. There's the guy we listened to earlier, HOPI Messenger, Thomas Bayanakis Sr., 1909 to 1999.
Auto insurance, all seen.
That's who he is, Thomas Bayanaka. If I could, 1909 to 1999. He was out there giving the message. Let me type him in. Thomas Banyan. There we go. I got you right there. Messenger of the HOPI Prophecy, 1909. Wow. So he was around for a good, nice long time. Whew, so what is that? 1909 to 19. You lived to be what? 89 years old. He made it to 89. It's almost 90. Nice. All right. So as you can see here, a lot of these messages from the HOPI Prophecy is really, really good. And we got a couple more to give you, and then we'll be on our way. And we'll just to show you that a lot of the teachings that they have and the significance of the ancient teachings that they do is, to me, in my opinion, rooted in a lot of animism, respecting nature. And I'll show you some of this understanding right here. When these are just some short clips I'm going to show you from TikTok or whatever, from people understanding the ancient teachings, and basically in a sense of what the HOPI Prophecy was trying to get people to always understand and to just be respectful of nature and to have an animistic approach to life, like this gentleman right here. Here we go. Listen to what he's going to say. It's a short clip.
People come to my house, sometimes they're preaching philosophies, and I grab a piece of earth. I just reach down and I grab some earth and I tell them, you see this? What do you call this? Well, that's dirt. I go, do you think it's alive? And they go, no. I grab a rock. I tell them, do you think this has energy? No, these things to them are inanimate. They don't contain life. They don't contain consciousness. Even though in the biology class they'll tell you, no, the tree is alive. It has cells. It's doing photosynthesis. There's a process, you know. Crystals are growing. They explain to you scientifically, but somehow you still don't equate this as consciousness. And this is a result of this human separation from nature. It's an unnatural way to live. And when you're living in an unnatural way, diseases happen. Psychological diseases, behavioral patterns, health habits, unnatural. People come to my house.
Sir just gave some bars on that one. That was straight bars. And like I said, it seems like the HOPI prophecy and everything that's going on is just like a get back to nature. It's just an animistic approach to life, to understanding that, you know, respect nature. Don't disrespect nature. Earth gives you everything that you need. Respect it. And you see like old civilizations and tribes that still live in this way. We call them primitive, or not we, but the powers that be call them primitive. And, you know, the way they live, and they live in huts and stuff like that. I mean, some may live older fashioned than others. There's still tribes out there, but, you know, you stray too far from the land and stop producing your own food, then things change, you know what I mean? And I'm guilty of this too, in a sense. But let's continue to hear what they have to say about the same concept what the last guy said. We're going to hear it spoken from another group of people. So listen to how they speak about nature. Check this out.
Religions, they have what they call their most religions, they have what they call their scriptures, written teachings in their sacred scripts. Indigenous people, we don't have that. We can find the teachings and the messages written in the rocks. They're not written in books. And it has been passed down for generation after generation from time immemorial on how to be a good human being, how to live in balance and in harmony with all life here on Mother Earth.
Rock have consciousness and awareness and are beings. Rocks were the very first thing that were created. They treat rocks with great respect, and they think that rocks are libraries and record keepers. And we could know a lot about natural space. If there is a gigantic rock there, boulder, you go there and look and feel the rock, and you will get a lot of knowledge about what happened, history.
And she's right. You will get a lot of knowledge about what happened in history. Hieroglyphics. When you look at hieroglyphics, it's written on rocks and trees and different things of that nature. So you can't say that what she's saying is not true or whatever is crazy, because it's not, because hieroglyphics. We all know about hieroglyphics and how those things work. Trying to find this thing real quick so I can see if I can have one more thing to give. We all know how hieroglyphics work, and we know that, you know, it's given through messages written on rock. We see it all the time. We've seen it a million times, and we understand it. There's this one guy I wanted to show you, but I can't find him. I think I accidentally got rid of his. Yeah, I can't find him. This is, nope, this ain't it. Yeah, I can't find the other guy. But we got a couple more that we're going to run through here, and then we'll finish up. So let me go ahead and get back to it. Where is it? Here we go. So we got a couple more, then we're about to finish this up. We have, how many more do we have? Can I go back? Can I go back? No, I can't go back. Is this it? No. But here it is right here. We have this one is the AI. I know this is the AI, but however, whoever did this AI spoke some good wisdom. So I got to give this AI a shout out on this one. This will probably be the final one that we're going to go ahead and end it with. We're going to end it on the AI, but I think this one was really good. So let's go ahead and wrap this show up on this one right here. So shout out to whoever made this AI. This was really, really good. Here we go.
Is what the ancients taught about how to live with your own mind in 1 minute. You become what you repeat. Every thought you think twice is a path you are paving. Be careful what you feed your mind. Your emotions are not your enemies. They are messengers from the body. Fear shows you what matters. Anger shows you where you're still hurting. Anxiety means the spirit has wandered from the body. Come home. Do not wait for motivation. The wind comes and goes. But the roots you plant in silence are what hold you when the wind is gone. Your past is not who you are. It is only the road that brought you here. The walker is still becoming. When someone disturbs your peace, pause. The reaction in your chest is older than the person in front of you. Look within first. You cannot control the storm, but you can choose how to stand in it. That is sovereignty. Your thoughts shape you. Your habits build you. Your choices return you to yourself. If this brought you home, mi amor, comment grounded below. The rooted mind is the map for the rest of the walk. It is waiting in my profile.
All right, she lost me at the end. However, she said that you cannot control the storm, but you can control how you stand in it, which that to me was a bar for sure. Storms are going to come. You can't fight them, but you can't control how you stand in them, which is kind of like what the HOPI Prophecy is saying. Like a storm is coming. How you going to stand in it? You're going to stand in a storm via materialistically or spiritually and grounded. The choice is up to you. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are finished with today's show. Hopefully you got educated and learned something today on today's show. I know that was a long one, but I had to get that message out. This one was a much needed message for me to give out to you because not so many people understand and talk about this. And especially when we go into the world of AI, you got to have some kind of spiritual knowledge and stay grounded. And I'm big on like understanding the animistic way of living and the animism way of life. And it seems like the old tribes, the ancients, and the HOPI prophecies and things of that nature, and even like Bible scripture, the root of it is nature. Get back to nature. Stay rooted in nature. That's the whole thing. You know, like if you read the Bible, it talks about giving you the fruits and the herbs to eat for your body. If you listen to what the HOPI prophecy was talking about, it just results back to nature. It's like, hey, stay grounded in nature. Feed yourself. Self-govern yourself. Sovereignty. It's what it just tries to bring you to. You know what I mean? Understanding that there's a storm that's going to come and things are going to get hard. And, you know, are you able to keep this going the entire way through the ups and downs and smiles and frowns and stay with nature? And basically, like Tyson said, you leave with the person who brought you to the dance. That is just the best way to look at it. With that being said, man, I got to get up out of here. We'll catch you tomorrow on a next live stream. So be tuned for that one coming up tomorrow. But until then, we'll see you. Take care. Be safe. Love you. Peace.
Thank you for watching D. Elliott Fitness live stream. Goodbye.
Talking the wrong, coming off your teeth. Got that one hit to quit and knock you off your feet. It's big, baby, I'm obsolete.